Late in the first half at MetLife Stadium, Malik Nabers went up for a deep ball and planted his right foot into the turf. He immediately grabbed for his knee, trainers rushed out, and he was carted off the field. The early reports, an MRI scheduled for Monday, and a strong belief among observers that he'd torn his ACL are the kind of news every team and fan dreads. If the MRI confirms a torn ACL, this is almost certainly a season-ending injury for Nabers. What follows is a clear-eyed breakdown of what this means for the Giants, for rookie quarterback Jaxson Dart, and for the trajectory of New York's offense. What likely happened? Mechanics and diagnosis. The play description points to the classic non-contact or near-contact mechanism that causes ACL injuries, planting the foot and twisting while the body and momentum continue. Those situations put extreme rotational stress through the knee and commonly result in tears of the anterior cruciate ligament. An MRI is the diagnostic gold standard. It will tell the team whether the ACL is fully torn, partially torn, and whether other structures, meniscus, MCL, cartilage, were damaged. A confirmed full ACL tear typically means reconstructive surgery and a long rehab timeline. Modern surgical techniques and rehab programs have advanced a lot, but we're still realistically talking about 9 months to a year before a player is cleared to return to full NFL competition in most cases. Immediate football consequences for the Giants. 1. Losing the top weapon. Nabers was New York's #1 receiving threat after an explosive rookie year. Elite contested catchability, field-stretching speed, and the kind of route running that turns single coverages into mismatches. Losing that kind of player is both a schematic and psychological blow. Opposing defenses can now redirect how they defend the Giants. Less bracket coverage, more attention to the intermediate routes and tight ends, different leverage against the run-pass balance. 2, impact on Jaxson Dart's development. This was supposed to be the beginning of a high-ceiling pass-catcher-quarterback partnership. Dart is a rookie and was making his first start. Pairing him with a proven #1 like Nabers would have reduced pressure, simplified reads, and created big play opportunities. Without Nabers, defenses can crowd the box, shorten the field, and make it harder for Dart to gain easy chunk plays. That increases the onus on the Giants' coaching staff to craft a protective, high-percentage receiving plan that gives Dart clear progressions and quick outs. Game plan and play caller adjustments. Expect schematic changes immediately. The Giants should, and likely will, dial up more quick, rhythm throws, hitches, slants, quick outs, screens, to get the ball out of the QB's hands fast and to protect the interim pass catchers. Increase the role of tight ends and backs in the passing game. 2 tight end sets, frequent checkdowns, and play action that targets the seam could compensate for the missing vertical threat. Lean on the run game to keep defenses honest. Fewer obvious pass situations helps a young QB by shortening plays and reducing 3- and 5-step drop pressure. Use motion and bunching to create easier matchups and to hide who will be the primary read. Depth chart and roster moves the Giants must consider. Teams always hope their depth can absorb injuries, but top-tier wide receivers aren't plug and play. The Giants now face a few options. Promote from inside. Elevate practice squad receivers who know the system. They'll be inexperienced, but coaches can schematize touches to get them set quickly. Sign a veteran free agent. There are usually proven receivers available after week 1 to 3 who can step in for a short-term role. The front office must weigh cost, fit, and locker room chemistry. Explore trades. The trade market for receivers is thin and expensive, but if the Giants view themselves as immediate contenders and the injury is confirmed, they might pursue a move. Trades have ripple effects for salary cap and draft capital. Increase use of hybrid players. Move more slot and boundary responsibilities to tight ends and big slot receivers. That could mean heavier personnel packages and more crossing patterns. What this means for the season and for expectations with Nutterface. If Nabers is out for the year, the Giants' offense changes from potentially explosive to more conservative and methodical. That doesn't doom the team, but it does alter how opponents will prepare and how New York must manage games. The short-term effects are tangible. Fewer explosive plays, more pressure on the offensive line to give Dart clean pockets, and a greater need for complementary football, defense, special teams, and the run game. For Jaxson Dart specifically, this becomes both a challenge and an opportunity. Challenge because the margin for error shrinks without a reliable number one. Opportunity because if he can play well under that pressure, managing the pocket, processing reads quickly, maximizing what receivers are available, it will accelerate his credibility inside the building and around the league. Longer-term player health and mental factors, ACL injuries, are as much a mental hurdle as a physical one. The rehab is grueling, and the return to trust timeline varies by player. Younger athletes often rebound well physically, but returning to pre-injury explosiveness and confidence requires time and repetition. The Giants' medical and performance staff will play a big role in both physical recovery and gradual reintegration. Messaging to the fan base what to expect. Fans should temper immediate panic with realism. Losing a young star is heartbreaking, but NFL rosters are built for attrition. Expect the team to be deliberate in how it replaces Nabers' snaps. Don't expect a dramatic blockbuster unless the front office signals they're all in. Adjust offensive game plans to protect the rookie QB and keep drives moving. Lean on defense and special teams to buy the offense time to find its identity. How the Giants might compartmentalize success. Teams in this situation often take a multi-pronged approach: background player development, targeted free agent pickups, and in-game creativity. If the defense can remain stout and the offense executes a conservative, high-efficiency plan, the Giants can still be competitive. But the ceiling and timeline for sustained success shift downward without Nabers' vertical production. Bottom line, if Nabers' MRI confirms an ACL tear, this is a significant, likely season-ending loss for the Giants. It changes how defenses will attack New York, places a heavier burden on rookie QB Jaxson Dart, and forces roster and schematic adjustments right away. The organization must react on three fronts: medical, get Nabers the best surgical and rehab plan; schematic, retool the offense for short field efficiency; and roster, identify immediate depth upgrades. The human side matters as much as the X's and O's. Nabers' rehabilitation and mental recovery are long races, and the franchise will need to support him every step of the way. For fans, this will be a test of patience, grief for the injury, curiosity about how the team adapts, and if the Giants respond well, a chance to rally behind a group that's suddenly asked to do more together. New York Giants star wide receiver Malik Nabers was carted off the field late in the first half Sunday at MetLife Stadium after suffering a right knee injury on a deep pass, and initial reports indicate he may have torn his ACL. The injury happened on what should have been a free play. The Chargers jumped offsides before the snap, and rookie quarterback Jaxson Dart fired a deep ball down the right sideline to Nabers. As Nabers leaped to contest the pass and planted his right foot, he immediately grabbed at his knee in visible agony. Athletic trainers rushed onto the field, tended to him briefly, and then the decision was made to transport him off on a cart. Teammates gathered around as he was taken to the locker room. The Giants later announced only that he had a knee injury and would not return. NFL Network and ESPN reported after halftime that team sources believe Nabers sustained a torn ACL, and the receiver is scheduled to undergo an MRI on Monday to confirm the extent of the damage. The Giants have not yet released a definitive diagnosis. If an ACL tear is confirmed, the injury